It was a scene no one expected. November 2025. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan stood inside a heavily guarded military barracks, not the parliament, not the state house, surrounded by soldiers, tanks, and generals, taking her oath of office. Cameras were restricted, journalists were silenced, and even her closest ministers looked confused. Why would the president of one of East Africa's most peaceful nations choose to swear in at a military base? What was happening behind those walls? This question would shake Africa for weeks. Tanzania had just come out of one of the most violent elections in its modern history. The ruling party declared victory with 98% votes, but opposition leaders called it fake. Thousands of protesters were arrested, dozens killed, and foreign journalists deported. Internet blackouts covered the country for days. When results were announced, the city of Dodoma went silent. Soldiers appeared at government buildings. The mood turned dark. Then suddenly, early morning, state media announced, the president will take oath at Kolere Mhandisi barracks. People didn't understand what that meant. But those who knew Tanzania's military history immediately sensed something was very wrong. For decades, Tanzania's army was loyal, disciplined, and kept away from politics. But in the last few years, things had changed quietly. Western countries had started funding Tanzania's security modernization program, training elite units, providing intelligence tools, and creating a new network between the army and the presidency. Slowly, the line between civilian and military control disappeared. The generals had started calling the shots. Samia Suluhu, once seen as a soft-spoken leader, was now surrounded by men in uniform. Rumors said the generals were divided. Some wanted power directly. Others wanted to rule through her. So when she arrived at the barracks to take her oath, many believed it wasn't her choice. It was an order. Some witnesses said her convoy was stopped 2 nights before by armed officers. They gave her a message. Either you swear loyalty to us or we take over. The decision was made. The ceremony would be held under the watch of the military. No opposition, no public, no chief justice, just her, the flag, and the gunmen. As that moment went live on national TV, the world took notice. The clip lasted less than 2 minutes. Samia's hand trembled as she repeated the words of the oath. Behind her stood General Mwakipesile, head of the defense force, staring without expression. It looked less like a celebration and more like a warning to anyone who still believed Tanzania was a democracy. And then, silence. No press conference, no statement, no celebration. The broadcast cut to the national anthem, and the screen went black. Across the continent, many African leaders stayed silent. But one voice broke through, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the young revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso. Speaking from Ouagadougou, he said, "When a leader takes an oath surrounded by guns, she is not serving the people, she is serving fear." His statement spread like wildfire. African youth began asking, is this the new face of African democracy, or a return to military rule? Traoré's reaction didn't just criticize Samia. It challenged the entire Western-backed political system in Africa. He accused Western powers of creating fake democracies protected by trained soldiers. His words were direct. If your freedom depends on foreign guns, it is not freedom, it is occupation. Thousands of Africans cheered. Social media exploded with hashtags like "War Stand with Burkina" and the Tanzania crisis. Meanwhile, Tanzania's government stayed quiet. State TV replayed old speeches and patriotic songs. No one dared question the president. Behind the scenes, diplomats from the US and UK held urgent meetings. They had invested millions in Tanzania's security. They couldn't afford to lose the country to chaos.